welcome to my channel, Andra Makes, and today I'm continuing the vlog live series and chatting with the wonderful Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room, all about her YouTube journey. I will leave a link to Jen's channel in the description box, so if you haven't subscribed yet, head on over there and subscribe to her channel. You will love it. Jen is the host of the Friday Sews hashtag on YouTube, and it is a wonderful opportunity to get to know a lot of sewing bloggers from around the world. They usually post on Friday mornings with either Friday Sews or hashtag Friday Sews in their title or description. So just search for Friday Sews in the YouTube search bar and you will get to know tons of wonderful sewing bloggers from around the world. And Jen graciously invites anyone and everyone who wants to participate, and that really helps new sewing bloggers get their channel out there on YouTube to be seen. So we cannot thank Jen enough for inviting us to participate in that wonderful community. So here is my conversation with Jen. Hi, Jen. Thanks so much for joining me today. And we are so excited to hear all about your YouTube journey. So thanks so much.
Oh, it's such a pleasure, Andra. Thank you so much for asking me.
I'm delighted. Tell us how long you've had your YouTube channel and what prompted you to start your YouTube channel.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's kind of a long story, but I'll try and abbreviate it as much as I can. I started my channel back in 2009, and I was just a stay-home mom with teenagers, and I thought this would be fun because I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and so I thought, well, it might be fun to, I felt like I had something to offer to the conversation. So, I didn't know what I was doing. I just made, 2 or 3 videos, and then a year went by and I made like 3 or 4 more. And then, I was just kind of all over the place, and I had teenagers at home. So, you can imagine what that was like trying to coordinate. But then in 2011, I think it was 2011, I was living in a condo that I bought because my daughter needed to finish high school in the town where we had moved from, and all her sisters had gone to. She was a junior, she was going to be a senior. And so my husband was in Indiana. This was in North Carolina. So she and I moved for a year to North Carolina. Well, I was flipping this condo. Basically, I was remodeling it, and I needed things to listen to. So I started listening to audiobooks, and then I needed more audiobooks. So I started looking on YouTube for, well, what's everybody else reading? And so then I started a YouTube channel on audiobooks. I just thought, oh, nobody's talking about audiobooks. They're talking about books, but not audiobooks. Well, yeah, the idea of thinking, oh, the niche market, I'll just fit right in there. Well, no, not really. But anyway, I did that for 6.5 years. And I put all my time and energy into that. And I ended up moving to Indiana, obviously, when my daughter went to college, my youngest. And I was in the middle of nowhere, and Amish people all around me with farms, and nothing within like 5 miles. And I was just very isolated. And I'm not a person that does well in that situation. And so really that saved me. So occasionally I would go back and think, what's going on with that sewing channel? And then I'd think, I just need to delete that whole thing. And I would check in, and it would be like twice the amount of subscribers that I had on the book channel. And it was like, I haven't done anything with that in like 6 years. What is going on? So I don't know. So I moved here where I live now about 3 years ago. And I thought initially, well, maybe I'll pick it up again, or maybe I'll just do both. And I began to quickly realize that I enjoyed doing the sewing channel way more than I ever had the audiobook channel. That was an easy thing to do. All you do is talk about books and throw up a graphic, and it's, this is a lot more complicated, as you well know. But the more I started into it, it had changed so much. So I was like, well, okay, what do I do now? And I started doing the regular things, like, the regular things that we all do, pattern hauls, fabric hauls, what's makes and that kind of thing. And so picked it back up, and all of a sudden, wow, there it was like, what is happening here? Why have I concentrated so much on this other audience instead of this audience? So yeah, that's basically the journey. It's like start it, stop it, start it, stop it, do something completely different, and then come back and be very happy that you're back. So yeah.
Well, you mentioned how things had changed, and that leads us to our next couple questions. Since you started your channel, how has YouTube itself changed, and how have you changed, if you think you have?
Oh, I definitely have. Well, 2009, what was that like? How many years ago? It's 13 years ago? No, I don't know. I can't do the math in my head right now. 11, I don't know. YouTube, I did some research on this because I wondered, and YouTube actually started in 2005, I think. So when I started my channel in 2009, it was still pretty new. So all the people that are huge now were just starting out, like Mimi G and Whitney Makes and Crafty Gemini and with Wendy. All these people were just diving in, and I was right there along with them. It makes me look and go, why didn't you stick with that? I mean, you could be doing a lot better than you're doing right now. But I think obviously, you look at where the sewing YouTube community is now, with the onset and popularity, I think, of independent patterns, that just caused that whole YouTube sewing community to explode, because we all started talking about this new thing, and finally I found something that fits, and this is so easy to do, and so many people started picking it up. And so within YouTube, and YouTube changed a lot too, the way they do things and the way people can connect, and monetization, and people started making it a business and all of that. So that's YouTube. In terms of me, my kids all left home, and I didn't have them to sew for anymore, and I was an empty nester, and I had so many in such a short amount of time. When they left, they all left. It was like bam, and they're gone. So I had to adapt to that, as we all do. But that was hard. And so obviously I went through that. So now coming into where I am now with sewing, I look at the way that my life has changed, and that's changed the way I sew too, because I can take on more complicated projects. I can pay more attention to little details that before I couldn't. So talking about that and connecting with people, I think YouTube is just bigger in general. It's everybody knows what it is now, and it's very accessible and widespread, and on a global level. So there you go. It's like it's changed a lot, and I have too. So yeah.
At any time in your YouTube journey, have you ever wanted to stop YouTubing?
Well, yeah, I did. Like twice. I think you think it's a great idea. You jump in, you have some fun, and then you go, I don't have time for this. Because if you're like me, you don't go in with a plan. Like I had no plan. I just thought, oh, that'd be fun. And like I do most things, which is not a great way to live your life, but some of us do and manage. And we surround ourselves with people that do know how to manage life with a plan. So anyway, yeah, I mean, you can do that, but I don't know. I mean, I got to the point where I was so busy and so many changes were going on that I just couldn't keep up with it. So I did basically set that sewing channel aside and just say, yeah, I can't do it right now. So yeah, I did quit. And then with the audiobook channel, I think it just ran its course. I think we all go through seasons, and I have kind of let that. I haven't deleted it because probably shouldn't do that, because look what I did with the sewing channel. I came right back to it. So I'm not as interested in that right now. It's like, that's not that had its time and its season. And I do think that I burned out a little bit with it. I was just doing the same thing over and over and over and not seeing anything happen with it. I did connect with some of the best friends I'll ever have in my life, but the sewing channel, I'm sure that it'll do the same thing. It'll run its course, but I'm doing it differently now. So yes, I have been tempted. Yes, I did do it. And I don't know if I will in the future. I don't know. It's kind of like you just ride the wave. So we'll see.
Well, we're all so glad that you're back on your sewing channel.
You're all so gracious and kind and wonderfully encouraging. Man, if you just need a boost to your self-esteem, then start a YouTube channel, because people will be fabulous.
The sewing community is very special.
Oh, so special. They really are.
What do you think is the most rewarding thing about having your channel, and also the most challenging thing?
Well, you know, everybody says this because it's true. The most rewarding thing is the community. It's the people that you meet and the people that you connect with and that you get to know. Because when you first meet people, they're very positive. You show them your best side, they show you their best side. And it's all it couldn't be a more positive thing. So in that respect, who wouldn't want to appreciate that about, and be a part of that, whether you're just leaving a comment or whether you have your own YouTube channel or whatever it is. It's like you say, it's just a very tight community. It's a very encouraging, wonderfully affirming community. So that's obviously the most rewarding. The hardest thing, where do I begin? Oh my goodness. The thing that I respect the most about YouTubers who do this for a business is the fact that they don't just do YouTube. They sew, they create, they come up with more ideas to sew, create, and film. Then they film, and then they produce, and they edit, and they upload, and they get the thumbnail right, and you get all the captioning right, and all the other little things that you add right. Editing takes forever. And I think we think that we watch TV and we think it's just this instant thing, and we all get so used to that. I started thinking about that the other day, and I thought, I just assume that they think of it and then it happens. And we all think that, except when you then decide to do it, you go, oh my goodness, no, it does not just happen. So yeah, that's the hardest thing. It's just getting it all together, adhering to a schedule and doing the film, taking time to film, get your footage, edit that footage down. I turn 45 minutes of footage into 15 minutes. And man, I slash like a person in a murder slashing movie. It's like, why do they care about that? They don't need to hear about that. So yeah, that's the hardest part. Photo shoots are hard for me too. It's like, I'm so bad at photography. Whatever. I just go, well, here it is. And that's it. That's my front door. That's the best I can do.
Your photography is beautiful. Let's talk about content a little bit. How do you balance what you personally want to produce and upload versus what you think might resonate well with your viewers?
That's a really good question for a YouTuber who's doing it. And it's one that I've been thinking about a lot lately, because I've thought I need to approach this differently than I ever have before if I want it to do anything or accomplish anything. In fact, what do I want it to accomplish? So, what a concept, figure it out. But in thinking about that, I've realized I need to find my audience, and I need to know what they want, what's important to them, what do they want to see? Because you can say as a YouTuber, well, my channel is just for me, well, then why aren't you just uploading home movies for your family? Because if you expect people to watch you or to be interested in what you're doing, then you need to have it be interesting for them. So I think it's no contest. If that's your goal, is to be successful with a YouTube channel, no matter whether it's small success or big success, then you absolutely have to give people that you want to watch you. You got to give them what they want. As a viewer, I think, I know that you tried to film this 3 times and now this is your 4th and hopefully it'll work. I don't care. I'm here for the sewing. If I log on and go, when I was flipping that house, I needed a lot of How do you clean a paintbrush? How do you, do the plumbing? How do you install a faucet? Well, if I logged onto somebody's channel and I wanted that information, and what I get is, oh, here's who I am, and like, comment, and subscribe because my channel's growing, and like 10 minutes of whatever. I'm like, can we get to the point? What about how do I get my faucet into my, things like that? That drives me crazy. So when you talk about balancing that, I think it's just no contest. You absolutely have to be ruthless with yourself and say, yeah, maybe that makes me relatable, but do we really care? Do we, this is why I slash out so many huge chunks of my videos. And there are times when I just think, you went on about the plants on your back patio. Why do we care about that? Who cares? I don't care about that. I'm watching, as I'm editing, I'm thinking, I'm watching you and I don't care. Why do I care about this? So you have to, it's obviously it's a delicate balance, but you really do have to be very, like I say, ruthless with yourself. So yeah, that's just how I look at it. I'm very impatient with, I don't know, viewing people on YouTube, especially when I want a piece of information and you're not giving me that until the end. You're well into it. So I try and not be that way.
You are cracking me up. I'm not sure how to segue from that, but
Oh my gosh.
how do you handle unkind comments?
Oh, well, I haven't had that many of them. Sometimes people are just mean, and obviously what I do is I take offense. I think, what? Like, who do you think you are? I think all these things. But the beauty of YouTube is it's like beauty of email, or anything that you do where you can go back and fix it and then do it again and show people what you want them to see. Well, I don't want to be a crabby old person that gets offended by everything. So I let it sit, and I talk to my husband and I rant and I tell my friends, can you believe this? And then I come back and I think, okay, kill them with kindness. Kill them with kindness. I had somebody one time it's on my audiobook channel. Can you believe this? The most popular video on that channel is how to take the stickers off your books. It's not, oh, what I thought of this book or that book. It's how to take the stickers off. Well, anyway, I had a person say, well, at one point in the video, I say, don't do it with your fingernail because it'll just make you cry. You'll wreck your book. And so do it this way. And this guy goes, well, I did it this way. So there, Jen. And he used other language, so I thought, it's one of the very first ones I ever got. And I thought, who do you think you are? Well, then I stopped and I thought, okay, that's not the way I want to respond, even though that is my initial response, because let's face it, we all get offended. So what I said was, that's great. It takes all kinds of ways to do that. And I think that's fantastic. And he came back and he goes, well, thanks. I was just really surprised that it came off that. And he went into this explanation. And I thought, you didn't realize what you said, did you? Sometimes we don't. Other times, I had a woman say one time when I did an apron tutorial, this woman, I'm not even sure this woman knows how to sew. And it's because I said I didn't iron my sheets. I was like, really? You just have to look at those comments and go, okay. I had one recently that I haven't responded to yet. And basically because I forgot about it, but I need to go back. And one thing I've heard is that you should pin it at the top of the comments, because if it's as ludicrous as probably it is, maybe that person was having a bad day. It's like the cashier at Walmart. You think they're just thinking about something else, or they've had something challenging happen in their life, whatever. You can pin it at the top of your comments, and the people that read it will come to your defense. So it's like they'll do the work for you, which is really nice. And I think I did that with that comment, but yeah, I just haven't seen a lot of them. And my basic philosophy is just kill them with kindness. if you come back to them with that, what are they going to say? You take all the wind out of their sails. So, yeah.
I think you touched on this a little bit earlier, but when you first started your channel, did you have any long-term goals, or was it just, let's have some fun and see what happens?
Yes. No, I had no goals. 0 goals. I have goals now. I did not have goals then. That's the shortest answer you're going to get from me today. No.
If we allow it, the comparison game can be discouraging. How do you handle the comparison game?
Oh, that's a hard one. It's hard because you fight yourself, I think, more than anyone else. And you fight yourself in that you want to compare, you want to say, but my content's better. Why don't I have those subscribers? But my technique, my video editing is better. Why am I still stuck at this many subscribers? But I'm better in this. Okay, maybe, yeah. I think approaching that with a plan is going to help alleviate some of that comparison, but it's inevitable. We're all going to do it. So you just do the best you can, and you have to go, well, I'm doing what I'm doing with excellence. I'm doing it with a goal in mind. I'm doing it. I can't do it any better. I can't make this happen magically. So, yeah, I think some of it is just celebrity. It's just right place at the right time, you know? So yeah, some people are just going to be more popular than you are. People are going to relate with someone else more than they do with you. And there's no rhyme or reason to it a lot of the time, I think. So yeah, you just kind of shake your head and put your head down and go on and say, yeah, it'd be great if I were, you know, able to say, oh, I'm better than them. But is that really better though? Would it be great? No, probably not. Because everybody's at a different place. So you just, I don't know what else to say. You just kind of look at them and go, well, I admire you. How can I be more like you? I don't know.
Reaching 1,000 subscribers is a huge milestone for a channel, and you have well surpassed that. So what advice would you give smaller channels who haven't reached that yet?
Well, the first thing I would ask is that what you want? Are you in it for that? Are you doing this because you have a goal of reaching however many subscribers? Because if you do, then you need to work towards that goal. But if you don't, then why do you care? And if you're working towards that goal, are you doing all the things that you can do to get there? Because, oh my goodness, there are so many things that I didn't know mattered. And once I started researching and putting some things into place that I knew, these are things that the experts have said will help. Maybe not will work, because I don't think one thing works for everybody, but these are things that will really help my channel grow. Then if you implement some of those things or all of those things, as many as you can or want to, then you're going to see some success no matter what. I mean, you will, I think. So yeah, that would probably be my best advice is if you're committed, well, for one thing, commit. Commit. Because if you don't commit, then you shouldn't expect to succeed. If succeeding is your goal on whatever level, then you need to just figure out how to get there. And then you need to get there. Ask, you know, my family always says, how do I do this, Mom? Honey, how do I do this? And I'm thinking, you have Google at your disposal. Why do you think it's my job to fix your problem? So, you know, sometimes I even think that about questions my subscribers will ask. I'm thinking, do you have any idea how much time I spend on putting all those links in that description box? Why are you asking me to do the work for you? Because I will. Because I will. So make yourself that person who will Google things. How do I get these subscribers? How do I succeed at YouTube? How do I make my channel more watchable? How do I do it? and then put some of those things into place. That will help a lot.
Great advice. What do you think is the biggest misconception about having a YouTube channel?
It depends on the YouTube channel, I guess. It's easy, it's fun, it takes no time to do. Grab your phone and go, which maybe you can do some of that. You make tons of money doing it. No. I think we tend to think of it like celebrity. We tend to think maybe you'll be the one that takes off and gets famous. Maybe that'll be you. Maybe, but probably not. I don't know. Biggest misconceptions. There are so many out there. It's hard to pick one, but I think probably the biggest is, like I was saying before, it's so easy to think, you think it and there it is. And no, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. It's very time consuming. There isn't just one piece to it. There are so many pieces that all have to be paid attention to. So if it takes a lot of time and attention, even if you're just doing it as a hobby, it can turn into as time consuming as a job. So yeah, that's a huge misconception.
I totally agree. What advice and or words of encouragement would you give your fellow sewing YouTubers and also those who may be thinking about starting their own YouTube channel?
Well, this leads me into my I won't say extensive, but probably way too long of a list of things that drive me crazy when I watch YouTube. Oh my gosh. Because I did write some of them down. Okay, the first one is look at the lens. Don't look at the view screen. Do you see the difference there? I'm looking at the lens. I'm talking to you. Now I'm talking to who I see as you. And you see how the lens is over there. Yeah, that makes me insane. I think, talk to me. I want you to talk to me. Oh man, that makes me crazy. And the other is get to the point. Like I was saying before, I don't want to hear 10 minutes of you going on about, I don't care about whatever it is, till you get to the point. So, and that's hard for me too. It's hard for me to say, this is Friday Sews, and so let me, immediately jump into, here's what I'm talking about and talk about it. Don't talk about the fact that you're going to talk about it or any number of other things. What's the weather doing? Yeah, we don't care about the weather, Jen. We want to know about the sewing. So that, get to the point. You can be friendly and you can be very affable, but you need to talk about what they're going to care about and set your goals and keep on track, keep learning, always keep learning. Learn another editing software that's better. Learn a new way to do your lighting. Learn, start where you can and then move from there. Always be getting better. Always be enriching your content. Always be changing things up because you're learning how to do it better. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you so much, Jen, for joining me today and sharing your YouTube journey. I cannot wait for the viewers to see this. So thank you so much.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. My pleasure. And good luck if you're starting a YouTube channel. I mean, whoever's watching this, if you are, good luck. Yeah. I love talking to other YouTubers. Truly, some of the best friends of my life I've met through YouTube, and they're all over the world. So what a pleasure.
I agree. It's amazing to have actual friends all over the world, and sewing is what brings us together. And I just think it's amazing and I love it.
Me too. Me too.
Thank you, Jen. Bye.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Jen and got to know her if you don't already. I hope you're enjoying this series on my channel. I do have a playlist of all the sewing vloggers that I have interviewed thus far. If you want to check that out, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it if you would. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed thus far. It really means a lot to me, and it encourages me to keep making videos. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!